Biafra is an ocean, same like Ambazonia. The Biafran people are too rich, not only economically, but too rich mentally, that they cannot be enslaved by people lesser than them. The Biafrans should not be slaves to cattle railers.
Do you consider the Biafra in exile group seriously? Do you think they are serious in this struggle? That's on one side. Now, talking about the redeclaration, I'm sure you know the story of Eritrea. They declared a state of Eritrea from Ethiopia, but they were not recognized. But they did a redeclaration much later, some years later, and then they had a UN-monitored referendum that recognized them. Now, the Biafra in exile, they're calling for a referendum, UN-monitored referendum. Do you think that can be achieved?
No be small thing they happen like this. This Biafra declaration matter, it don't cause so many trouble as they be like this. Because the Indigenous People of Biafra, IPOB, don't come out, they don't disown these people. Then say make nobody listen to them. So those people were there for inside Finland, say na joker and NMB. Say they also use themselves the cash cruise. Say their own joy be say the mainstream media they don't give them any attention at all, and it didn't shock them. Them talk say they no be small picking NMB. Say they know the person will be their leader and they understand what Simon Ekpa they do for inside Finland. Say now him be the one where they sponsor the terrorism where they go on for inside Southeast too, and now the reason why they kill Igbo people now him be that. Say now him be the Oga Kwata for that matter, and now Simon Ekpa be the one where they sponsor all those killing for inside Southeast. Say that kind person, you know, if you represent them at all, say the person where they know. Say now Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, now him be the person where they know. So Emma powerful, the one where be say now him be the spokesman for IPOB. In talk say make they no mind that guy. Say that guy now Dr. Muna EB, say he no sabi anything. Say they even happy say they arrest him. Say as they arrest him like this, their prayer be say make the guy no come out at all. They also talk say no Biafra declaration of he hold apart from the one where Chukwuemeka Odumegwu Ojukwu declare for 1967. Say now that one na him be the only Biafra where they know. Say that one what they do for inside Finland like this. Say they just dey there they cash cruise themselves. He talk say na small pikin na they worry them. Say they don't even know what they do at all. Emma Powerful been talk so many things put to no be small thing. He also talk say the main agenda where they for their front. No be that yet what they do for inside Finland. Say waiting they their front now how to take ensure say they release Mazi Nnamdi Kanu from inside detention. Say make them for no mind all those scammers where they for inside Finland. Say God don't they expose them small. And onto this level like this, so many people don't come react put. So before I drop waiting we talk on top this matter for una. If today night be the first time when they visit our channel, make you no forget to hit the subscribe button and make you no forget to watch this video to the end so that you go understand what you then talk, and make you drop your own comment for inside the comment section. So make I allow now make una for watch the video.
Actually distanced themselves. In fact, there were quite a lot of words that were used. Imam Powerful says it is idiocy exhibited by a group of nincompoops, describing it as a scam intended to undermine the legitimate Biafran struggle. He also went ahead to say that that is not what late Dim Odumegwu Ojukwu actually holds sway, that it is illegitimate. IPOB also accused the organizers of being infiltrators and provocateurs who work to destabilize the Southeast region and distract from the group's peaceful advocacy for self-determination. He called it a shambolic declaration, and that responsible media organizations should not give it any form of credence or legitimacy. What's your take on it?
I cannot describe it better than those who know. Those who know have described it as shambolic, and I have no other word than what they have said. And for me, on the side of law, I feel it is an expression of illegitimacy and an expression of rascality and irresponsibility. Because you do not go to another country to begin to declare the independence of your own country in a different and sovereign environment. If you want to declare your own independence, then you declare it in the land where you intend to govern. So I see all that as a human being exercising their freedom of expression and their freedom of association, and nothing more than that.
Oh, you don't see it as anything, because today is December 2, and this is the supposed official Biafran Declaration Day. And this convention has been on for almost a week, since last week. A lot of Nigerians tripped to Finland to be part of that declaration. And a lot of states that were mentioned or called as part of those who are part of the Biafran, United States of Biafra or something, a couple of the persons residing in those regions are distancing themselves of being IPOB members. They're saying they're not part of that, specifically those from Edo, those from, other states that are not within the confines of the official five eastern states. And people feel that why would you call other states without consulting with them? Why would you involve those people without having a conversation with them? They say they don't want to be identified with your struggle. They don't want to be identified as, the Biafrans. They're Edos or Esako or whatever it is that they want to be identified as. Why are you forcefully implementing or infusing them in a particular struggle that they don't want to be part of without consultation? What's your take on that?
The very funny thing about all this is that it simply shows you that in life, human beings will just wake up and do whatever they like to do that gives them joy, that gives them happiness, irrespective of whether they are achieving anything. What is important is that they don't breach any existing law.
Okay.
Because if in the process they breach any law, then the law will come against them. But if they decide to gather and make merry and be happy with themselves and call it any name, well, it's their freedom. That is the beauty of democracy, and that is why we say that democracy is sweet. The sweetness of democracy is in the freedom to do what pleases you within the confines of the law. Those who you said have left Nigeria to go to Finland, is their own style of vacation. As far as I'm concerned, they decided to go on vacation in Finland. And those who gathered from all over the world, they decided to congregate, make merry, beat the drum, fly around some colors and some flags, and then go back to their various abodes, having established the fact that they went on vacation and they enjoyed themselves in Finland. It is at best, and that of course, the Finnish government will not have any issue with them because it will, a lot of money in foreign exchange will come into their country. It's part of tourist attraction. That's at best what it is, and nothing more than that.
Do you consider the Biafra in exile group seriously? Do you think they're serious in this struggle? That's on one side. Now, talking about the redeclaration, I'm sure you know the story of Eritrea. They declared a state of Eritrea from Ethiopia, but they were not recognized. But they did a redeclaration much later, some years later, and then they had a UN-monitored referendum that recognized them. Now, the Biafra in exile, they're calling for a referendum, UN-monitored referendum. Do you think that can be achieved?
Personally, I don't see seriousness. However, I have learned in my life that when a mosquito patches on the wrong spot, usually you want to get it off, you want to squash it with a sledgehammer, it will cause more damage. I have just mentioned Eritrea. Jonas Savimbi also had something similar. It starts like a smoke. Before you know what is happening, it's going to cause a conflagration. The PLO movement with late Yasser Arafat was saying that they needed to get the Israelis out. And part of the things that happened at the earlier stage was this bombing and all that before people now start on a table. By that time, so many people have been killed. So I personally don't believe that is right. Yes, I disagree with Barrister. No, that might be a slip. That the first declaration in Biafra in 1967 was due to war. It led to war. It was after the Aburi or no Aburi thing that I know later Dim Ojukwu was saying things did not go well in terms of agreement, and that the Nigerian nation, the pogrom that happened in the north, where our Igbo brothers and sisters were massacred mercilessly in response to what happened in 1966. I agree with Barrister Gomo. It has to go through a particular process. Will you, in your thinking, look at forceful takeover of government, military coups, as a panacea, as a way out? You may say right, you may say no. Those that you call terrorists, on one hand, they say they are freedom fighters in another breath. I foresee a situation where what is happening in Finland now, in my mind, is mutation, i.e. Simon Ekpa is now undergoing serious interrogation against not terrorism now, but forceful and doing things that are illegal. So he's gone into custody. His friends and people outside who want to try to make some agitation. The same thing happened with Nnamdi Kanu. So having put all this together, in my honest opinion, I make 2 points. One, I think Nigeria, under the leadership of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, to free Nnamdi Kanu. My belief is that there are plans on the way to free him, and you free him for 2 reasons. One, others in other areas, whether for larger or lesser degree, have found their freedom.
Biafra is an ocean, same like Ambazonia. The Biafran people are too rich, not only economically, but too rich mentally, that they should not be enslaved by people lesser than them. The Biafrans should not be slaves to cattle railers. It should not happen. That is the reason we are here today. I'm sorry, I told you I don't know how to talk very much. I just stopped the concerning the Biafra-Ambazonia relations, I can bet you and I can tell you we're in a very good foot. Because we are inseparable. Nothing can separate us. We go together like dynamite. Papa. We want to make sure that, as Biafra declared yesterday, if they commission their men and they're looking at their 12:15, Ambazonia should be there covering their back at their 12:45.
Yes, depending on when and where you are seeing this video from. Yes, starts about the first day of a new moon, the first day of December 2024. Yes, but one of the third day of the Biafran self-referendum happening in Finland, the Biafran redeclaration. Yes, because unumanande Ambazonia itego hanes yoro Biafrans nife basara ngoromai a representative from the Ambazonian Republic that came and addressed Biafra. We go ha kasi we na akwado maka obubia Biafra. So because nga like kono settle order and watch this video kono nerife this man from the Ambazonian government if could concerning Biafra and Ambazonia. So watch here the video. Drop your opinions in the comment section and be creative to start this video. Watch the video, guys. I'll be right back.
You know, Ambazonia declared her independence sometime in 1999 when Justice Elubede Ebong, Chief Ayamba, and a host of others seized Radio Boya and declared the independence of Ambazonia. But we had one mistake. And that mistake is something that my president, Dr. Cho Lucas Ayaba, told His Excellency Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Because you know that long before now, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu wanted to declare independence. He told him, my brother, don't make the mistake we made in 1999. Independence must be defended. Don't declare independence if you don't have an army to back you. Don't have a... You only can create a government when you have an army that will be protecting the people who are coming out to honor the activities that the government is putting in place. If you put a government without the defense first, you are taking the second step before the first. And today we are here. The Biafran government in exile, I cannot say that I am proud of you. I am flying with you. The ocean might look very soft on the surface. The ocean looks very timid on the surface, that any Tom and Dick can play with it. But beneath the ocean is dreaded. Beneath the ocean is horror. The zoo thought that we were just that surface of the ocean. We are dragging them down to see what we really have. Only a man who is smoking something I don't want to smoke will not differentiate the difference between a river and an ocean. Ambazonia, sorry I use Ambazonia term because it's something I've been talking about. Biafra is an ocean, same like Ambazonia. The Biafran people are too rich, not only economically, but too rich mentally, that they should not be enslaved by people lesser than them. The Biafrans should not be slaves to cattle railers. It should not happen. That is the reason we are here today. I'm sorry I told you I don't know how to talk very much. I just stopped the concerning the Biafra Ambazonia relations, I can bet you and I can tell you we are in a very good foot. Because we are inseparable. Nothing can separate us. We go together like dynamite. We want to make sure that as Biafra declared yesterday, if they commission their men and are looking at their 12:15, Ambazonia should be there covering their back at their 12:45. That is why I stand here as an honorable member of the defense unit that we have with the Biafrans, and I want to salute the chairman of the Biafran defense government in exile, because he's the chairman of that our group and he's doing a marvelous job, and I cannot go without giving his salute. We will make sure that as you have declared yesterday, that the movement of people from both regions will be as free as anything called free can be. Because I bet you the human psychology is very funny, that Ambazonia is under attack today and they are running to Biafra for safety. As you declared yesterday, don't be surprised that Biafrans will be running again to Ambazonia for safety. There will be that crisscrossing. And what we cannot afford to do is to create a vacuum on that border stretch. Because when you create a vacuum, enemies take it over. Rooks take it over. Thieves take it over, and you'll be hearing kidnapping and all of those things. Your minister and myself were working very hard to make sure that there is a strong border patrol in that area.